Hello everybody, this is Lucy Nathanson, child therapist and founder of 𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗃𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗃. So my message in today's selective mutism awareness video is children don't just grow out of selective mutism and don't wait for a child to grow out of selective mutism. This is a really important message that I want to share because quite often when I go into schools, teachers sometimes say to me, oh, she might just grow out of selective mutism, or we've had a child here before and they grew out of selective mutism, so let's just wait. And my response to that is, no, let's not wait. That's great that maybe a child grew out of selective mutism, but we can't rely on that happening. Never wait for a child to outgrow selective mutism. Actually, if we look at those situations where a child outgrew selective mutism, usually if we actually analyse the situation, then the people around them probably did all the right things without knowing it. If I actually ask them about that situation, we find out that no pressure was put on a child. They unintentionally started to encourage the child to do a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And what they inadvertently did was a small steps program, which is great. The child didn't grow out of selective mutism. They began talking in small, manageable steps. Maybe not in a formalised way, but that's how it worked. So therefore, when somebody says, you know, oh, we can just wait for the child to outgrow selective mutism because we know somebody that did, my answer to that is actually they probably did start talking in small gradual steps and they didn't just outgrow it one day and start talking. And that's wonderful that that happened for that child, but we can't rely on that happening with other children. So the main message here is don't wait for a child to outgrow selective mutism. Take action as soon as possible. Take action to take away the pressure around speech and then start to put in place a small steps plan to encourage the child to start to make steps forward in small, manageable steps, both at home and at school. Work identifying where we need to help the child and start to take steps, putting in place interventions in all of these different situations where the child isn't talking. Because actually, if we just wait for a child to outgrow selective mutism, what usually happens is the selective mutism becomes more and more entrenched with time. What happens is the child becomes labelled as they don't talk. The longer the child isn't talking, the longer they are labelled as a child that doesn't talk, and the longer they're in this situation, the harder, of course, it is for them to break out of it. So I absolutely would never recommend just waiting for a child to outgrow selective mutism. There's a lot we can do to help a child to make steps forward. Selective mutism is highly treatable. It's highly, there are lots of things we can do to help a child start to make steps forward, and just waiting passively is not one of them. Taking away the pressure, going through a stage of taking away the pressure, following those do's and don'ts, not asking any questions, etc. That's not doing nothing. That's taking action, the first step, taking away the pressure, before putting in place that small steps plan. So that's great, that's part of the plan. But actually just doing nothing isn't going to help. So the message of this video is don't just wait for a child to outgrow selective mutism, because more often than not, the selective mutism will become more and more entrenched with time. The child will associate this place as a place they don't talk and the people they don't talk to. We want to intervene as quickly as possible so that they start to make steps forward and they start to have a new belief. I can talk in this place with my mum or my dad or whoever. I can talk here, and then I can talk in front of my teacher. I can talk with my mum when my teacher is joining in the game. We want to change their beliefs about themselves, and we can only do this by actively putting in place a small steps program where they are regularly practicing doing these things in small steps, rather than just us doing nothing and waiting for them to overcome selective mutism by themselves. So that's the main message for today's video. Don't just wait for a child to outgrow selective mutism, actually do the opposite. Start to take action as soon as possible, putting in place a small steps plan in all areas of their life. Okay, I hope that was useful. Thanks for watching as always. Please do like, love, share. Let's get the message out there. And I hope you all have a lovely rest of the day. Take care, everyone.